Feraligatr continuing to farm up, we then snipe with Typhlosion getting a running start, because when shields are down, Shadow Typlosion goes to town. The opponent sends out Tentacruel, which only takes neutral from grass, but Solar Beam lands for huge damage. Welcome back to the channel. Buckle up, because today is going to be one hell of a ride. I thought I'd put together a team purely for entertainment purposes. Would I recommend this team? Most certainly not. I went 1-4 on my first set, but undeterred, we carried on and looked to get some epic wins with the most destructive triple shadow team in the Open Ultra League. The thought process behind this team was quite literally that I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So I thought I'd run Typhlosion. Would I recommend Typhlosion in this meta? Absolutely not. It is dominated by water types, which of course it's going to be dreadful into. This meta has also got a lot of counter users running around. The other Incinerate users we do see have a lot more play into them due to their sub, Ghost and Flying typing with Talonflame and Skeledirge respectively. We're going to back Typhlosion up today with two water types that can beat the other water types, or at least in theory. With that being said, without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game 1, Typhlosion's target has been acquired, Verian, a very good pick this season, but doesn't fancy the smoke. The opponent says switch into Skeledirge. We answer with Feraligatr. We call the bait the first time. We then throw 2 Shadow Claws and the Hydro Cannon, forcing the opponent's first Protect Shield. Feraligatr then able to throw 2 further Shadow Claws and the next Hydro Cannon, securing the knockout. Back out comes Verian. The opponent not wanting to get hit with the Ice Beam, opt to throw the Leaf Blade, securing the knockout. We send back out Typhlosion and the opponent says no thank you. Moving on to the next one. We see some Shadow on Shadow crime. Typhlosion versus Staraptor. Staraptor getting torn apart by the Incinerates. They're glassy, we're also glassy. We're going to respect the fly. The opponent forced my Protect Shield, then send out Tapu Fini. We're YOLOing the Solar Beam. Does the opponent respect the damage? Get that Tapu Fini off my screen. The opponent fucked about, they found out, and that is going to be all she wrote. In the next battle, we see a Snowman looking absolutely petrified. The opponent safe switches into Skeledirge, and we answer with the Gator. The opponent can throw any move, and we will survive. The opponent YOLO the Shadow Ball, and this is perfect, as we're going to be able to reach 2 Hydro Cannons. We give the opportunity to the opponent to take back switch, but it's going to cost them 2 Protect Shields. The opponent's going to be very sad when they see we've got 2 very hard checks for Abomasnow, as Poliwrath running Legacy counters also going to be very advantageous into them. The cool thing with running Typhlosion and getting shields down, even if the opponent's got a water type lurking in the back, they're going to get one shot by the Solar Beam. We send in Poliwrath, the opponent throw the Shadow Ball, we withstand the damage. I'm going to shield this next move up, bank the energy, pivot into Typhlosion, get in a running start and see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent sends out Ampharos with no Protect Shields. Too high behind is going to be straight in and straight out. Get that Ampharos off my screen. The opponent send back out Skeledirge, get Incinerate farm down, and we're going to take another very quick game. In the next battle, we see Articuno in the lead. Of course, a very nice lead for us. The opponent continued to stay in, so fuck it. We're going to say switch. If the opponent's staying in this matchup, they must have something else also weak to us in the back. And we've got 3 pretty solid answers for Articuno, and the entirety of our team resist ice. So we pivot into Feraligatr, tank the Icy Wind, return fire with the Hydro Cannon, getting Articuno incredibly low. This isn't enough for anything more than an Icy Wind or Ancient Power. The opponent give me a 2-stage debuff and then send out Giratina. Despite the debuff, this Ice Beam is going to land for some solid chip damage. We force the opponent's first Protect Shield. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to reach one further Ice Beam, so I'm just going to throw the Hydro Cannon, getting off some chip damage. You can see that literally probably healed Giratina. Once again, we gained ourselves shield advantage, and we're going to send out Poliwrath. The opponent actually has enough for the Shadow Force. We're going to no shield. Tell the opponent to YOLO it if you've got it. They actually go for the Ancient Power the first time, fishing for the boost, which they don't get. They then throw the Dragon Claw, which of course is the correct move, as Rock is resisted by fighters. We throw the Icy Wind lands, getting Giratina into the red again. We're going to look for the no shield, and we're going to look to pivot into Typhlosion to get another running start. The opponent send out Togekiss. Of course, they are ABA weak to fire. Typhlosion, smelling blood in the water, fires off the Blast Burn, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield again. We're going to throw 1 Incinerate and the next Blast Burn, only giving away 1 free turn. Get that Togekiss off my screen, back out comes Giratina. We've got 2 Protect Shields, 2 high behind. Of course, we're just going to 2 shield up whatever the opponent throw, commit to the Incinerate farm down, leave with the BM Solar Beam, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle. I went 1-4 in my first set, and I saw 4 Dragonite leads, and we're back to seeing this nonsense. The opponent makes a very nice catch, catching the Hydro Cannon onto Lantern, and this looks like very much RPS for the loss. However, after going 1-4, seeing 4 Dragonite leads in my first set, the leads were pretty decent, so I suppose I'm deserving a little bit of hard counter city. The opponent, looking for the full Spark Farm down, allows Feraligatr to reach 1 further Hydro Cannon, actually forcing a Protect Shield. The issue here is we've got no way of tanking this damage, as the Thunderbolt's going to hit Poliwrath for super effective, the Surf's going to hit Typhlosion for super effective. We shield the first one, the opponent is going to reach 1 further Thunderbolt. I was tempted to shield this up, as I think keeping health on Poliwrath could be very nice. However, the issue is, with no Protect Shields, Typhlosion is dead weight. The opponent then go for the Wham Bam combo play, fire off the Dragon Claw, forcing my final Protect Shield. We return fire with the Icy Wind. We're going to pivot back out into Typhlosion. Typhlosion gets the resisted Incinerate farm down. The opponent's final Pokemon is Feraligatr. The only win con is the opponent looking to flex. We full send the Solar Beam. Solar Beam goes shielded. And we're going to get an absolute ass kicking and take a loss. GG's to that opponent. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this team for climbing. However, what I would recommend it for is getting through battles very quick and having a lot of fun. In the next battle, we see the battle of the fire types. The opponent save switches into Greninja, and we answer the Greninja save switch with Poliwrath. Poliwrath's going to be able to tank all this energy, commit to the counter farm down, and leave absolutely loaded to threaten whatever comes in. The opponent sends back out Skeledirge. We're going to reach 2 Scalds. The opponent does send back out Skeledirge. We fire off 2 counters and the Scald for optimal fast move timing. However, the next time I'm only going to throw 4 counters, which is suboptimal, just guaranteeing getting this move off before the opponent could potentially take me out with the Disarming Voice. We force both Protect Shields. I was tempted to pivot, however I'm just going to keep alignment. We're going to send out the Gator to enter Skeledirge, because of course this is a very nice matchup. The opponent throw the Disarming Voice the first time. We're going to respect the Shadow Ball the second time. We're then going to throw 4 Shadow Claws and the Hydro Cannon if the opponent continued to stay in, looking to get this thing off my screen. Hydro Cannon, going to be massive overkill from this range. The opponent's final Pokemon is Swampert. I should have actually blind pivoted and landed the Solar Beam. However, I wasn't quick enough because these battles are played at like 4 AM. So my reaction time is essentially that of a sloth. So unfortunately, Typhlosion isn't going to get any booms. The opponent throw the Hydro Cannon bait. However, no bait will be saving this opponent's fate. Hydro Cannon gonna secure the dub. GG's. Heading into the next battle, we see Typhlosion into Gliscor. Not the best matchup, not the worst. Although we are going to outpace the opponent to the Blast Burn before they reach any potential Earthquake. We fire off the Blast Burn, forcing early shield advantage. We then save switch into Feraligatr. The opponent's only thrown 8 wing attacks. This can only be a Night Slash or Aerial Ace. It takes 9 to the first Earthquake, 8 to the second. The opponent go for the Chip and Dip, chipping us, then sending out Poliwrath. Poliwrath does beat Feraligatr, but we've got a small energy lead. We throw the first Hydro Cannon, which does land. We're able to reach Hydro Cannon number 2 on the CMP tie. The opponent give up that Protect Shield. However, they would have actually survived. Best case scenario for us, the opponent take me out with the Scald, which even means they're not going to get any free farm. We now send out our own Poliwrath. Poliwrath going to be able to commit to the full counter farm down. However, if the opponent full send a Scald, which they do, I'm going to put them into a range where 1 Incinerate will take them out, giving Typhlosion a running start. Because when shields are down, Shadow Typhlosion goes to town. The opponent sends out Tentacruel. The sub-poison typing means this Solar Beam is only neutral, but it still almost one-shots the opponent. And actually missed a bubble there. Jamie, you're a potato. The opponent throw the Acid Spray, securing the knockout. We send back out Poliwrath. The opponent send back out Gliscor, but Gliscor going to be straight in and straight out. And we're going to counter farm down Tentacruel and take that game. In the next battle, we see Feraligatr in the lead. Of course, this is dreadful. However, we can throw 2 Incinerates and then look to pivot. The opponent, of course, isn't likely to throw that charge move. However, it's always good to get an energy lead on Typhlosion wherever you can. We save switch into Poliwrath and we're met by Cresselia. This could actually be very nice for us if the opponent is running Moonblast and Grass Knot. Typhlosion is going to be able to come in and get even more energy together. The opponent fire off the Moonblast. We return fire with the Scald. Poliwrath is such a busted Pokemon. You can see we've got Cresselia deep into the red. I think the opponent makes a mistake here. They throw the Grass Knot, revealing their moveset. If I was the opponent, I would have thrown the Moonblast, because then in theory I might be threatened to shield this move. However, the opponent has revealed that we resist absolutely everything. The opponent fire off the Moonblast, then send back out Feraligatr. We're actually going to throw the blast button here, despite having the solar beam, as the opponent's got so much energy they're likely to shield. We force the protect shield, we're going to shield in return, and then look to pivot into Gator. We send out the Gator, the opponent continue to stay in. They're likely going to go for the chip and dip. The opponent throws the Hydro Cannon. We're going to throw our own Hydro Cannon one quick move before the opponent reaches the next one. As I've got quite a good Feraligatr, I'll probably lose CMP. The opponent tanked that damage, and I think at this stage I should have shielded and Shadow Claw farmed down. As if we would have had a very good chance of winning this game. The opponent's final Pokemon is Talonflame. We fire off a Hydro Cannon, forcing the opponent's final Protect Shield. Typhlosion hits like a truck. The opponent throws after 4 Incinerates. So we're going to shield this move up. Even a Flame Charge would be lethal. We're then going to throw one further Incinerate. Throw the Blast Burn on the CMP tie. Is Blast Burn enough to knock out? Oh, no it isn't. If that would have knocked out, the opposing Feraligatr is in Blast Burn range. But unfortunately, we're going to take a heartbreaking loss. GG's to that opponent. In the next battle, we see Typhlosion into Melmetal. I have not seen this Tin Can in the Ultra League in like 6 seasons. We build up some energy, then Safe Switch into Feraligatr. I should have held my energy here, as I think as the opponent continues to farm up, this is a very obvious catch. However, the opponent read me like a book and get a free snarl in the process. I think this matchup is where you're going to see why Feraligatr is ranked number 2 on PV Poke. Our quick move into Umbreon, of course, is resisted due to the sub-dark typing. However, Hydro Cannon is such a busted move and we're so incredibly spammy to it. Despite the opponent getting a free snarl, reading me like a book, Feraligatr is going to be able to win this in the Zero Shield. Hydro Cannon goes unshielded. The opponent's going to keep their 2 Protect Shields, send back up Melmetal, get even more energy together. However, we can just send out Poliwrath. I'm going to anticipate the opponent throwing the Blind Rock Slide, which they do, and then send out Togekiss. You can see here, I'm looking to throw out good timing. However, I overfarm too much. The Charm does come through. However, we should still be good here. Now the quick moves are aligned. It's just going to be a 1 and throw. So Incinerate, of course, is a 5-turn move. Charm is a 3-turn move. So ideally, just want to throw 1 and the charge move, which I do here. The opponent opt to give up their final Protect Shield. I was thinking, can I Incinerate farm down? I don't really think there's any need to. We're just going to go for the safe play, throw the Blast Burn, securing the knockout. And Melmetal is going to concede the match. In the next battle, we see some Shadow on Shadow crime. I'm not a huge fan of Shadow Charmers, however, the Dragonite lead is absolutely everywhere, so I can't blame this opponent. They say switch into Talonflame, and we're going to answer with Poliwrath. I'm essentially just sacking Poliwrath. We tank the fly, return fire with the Scald. Scald gets us exactly what we want, which is shield advantage. We're going to commit to the next Scald. We very fortunately get new mechanic, and this is either going to force the final shield or take back switch. The opponent opts to invest both Protect Shields. And this is best case scenarios. We've got 2 very, very hard hitting Shadows. We send out Gator. The opponent throw the fly. I don't think there's any point in really throwing at this Talonflame, as they are quite low. We're going to shield up the next move. I could have took them out here, but I don't really want to burn the energy. Instead, we're just going to 2 shield. Look to get all the energy in the world. I'm going to get him into range again where 1 Incinerate does knock out and give Typhlosion a running start. We know Gramble won't be returning. The opponent sends out Squidward. We've already seen 1 Solar Beam land and we're about to see the second land. Solar Beam does absolutely absurd damage, nearly one-shotting the opponent. All that banked energy on our Feraligatr is going to be more than enough to clean up this game. The opponent sends out Gramble. We fire off 2 Shadow Claws, which is pretty awkward timing. However, we're not going to take the next Charm. We're just going to throw back-to-back. That Charm won't register. Hydro Cannon, massive overkill, and we've got enough residual energy to outpace Tentacruel, reach 1 further Hydro Cannon, and we're going to be able to take that game. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Typhlosion into Pidgeot. Pidgeot users love to bait. We're just going to fire off the Blast Burn, see what the opponent wants to do. What they want to do is actually make a very nice catch. They catch the Blast Burn onto Skeledirge. However, we can just send out Feraligatr. We're going to be able to throw 7 Shadow Claws and the Hydro Cannon, outpacing. I doubt the opponent's shield, as they're already so low. However, what do I know? The opponent opts to give up that Protect Shield. We've already seen that Shadow Ball doesn't knock out, so I'm not going to give up a Protect Shield. We're just going to commit to the full Shadow Claw farm down, and we leave with a charge move. The opponent opts to send out Poliwrath, so we're going to fire off the Hydro Cannon. The Hydro Cannon is going to do some very nice chip damage, and we leave minimal farm. We can now send out our own Poliwrath, look to use it as the damage sponge. I'm now looking top right. I'm going to anticipate the opponent sending back out Pidgeot. As soon as I see it, I'm going to throw the Icy Wind. Out comes Pidgeot. We fire off the Icy Wind. Icy Wind forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We then send back out Typhlosion. We look to call the bait. The opponent nuked me through 2 Protect Shields. They obviously know that Jamie Finn loves to save shields for next season. It's now all down to Poliwrath. We leave with the Scald. We fire off the Scald. Scald isn't going to be enough to knock out. Are we going to reverse 2 shield flex? No, we're not. We're actually going to get the 2 shield flex and take that game. In the final battle of today's video, we see Annihilate. This is why I said that both Talonflame and Skeledirge are better than Typhlosion in the current meta due to their counter resist. The opponent fire off the Night Slash. A non-stab Night Slash already gets us close to the red. The opponent then send out Giratina trying to catch a Blast Burn. We answer the Giratina safe switch with our Feraligatr. I think an argument could have been made here that I could have sent out Poliwrath, as Poliwrath is of course dead weight against Annihilate due to them resisting counter. However, we send out Gator, we massively overfarm, full send the Ice Beam, guaranteeing the shield or the knockout. The opponent show no respect, they get one shot. Feraligatr is down a Protect Shield. However, we've got so much residual energy, back out comes Annihilate. I throw the Hydro Cannon, one counter before the opponent reaches the next Night Slash. As I anticipate I lose CMP, I'll be honest, I don't actually know. It looks like the opponent looks for the full counter farm down, they don't get it. We reach the next Hydro Cannon, forcing both Protect Shields. We send out Typhlosion. We just fire off the Blast Burn immediately. I don't care if the opponent catches. We just want to deny that energy. The opponent's final Pokemon is Gliscopod. Poliwrath doesn't have the best matchup here. However, we have got shield advantage. Of course, Poliwrath is the king of throwing very annoying debuffs. So we shield the first move, fire off the Scald. There's some weird visual glitch where we don't actually see if we get the attack drop. So I've got no idea if we debuff them, but regardless, we're not in Aerial Ace range. The opponent throw the Aerial Ace on the CMP type. Aerial Ace doesn't secure the knockout, and they're now in Icy Wind range. And Poliwrath is going to be a Gliscopod counter confirmed. GG's, and thanks for playing. So to answer my own question, who wins CMP out of Annihilate and Feraligatr? If you go to PvPoke and just click the default IVs, both Pokemon have a 159.7 attack. So that is literally the most IV dependent CMP tie you'll ever see. So those were the battles today with Shadow Typlosion. I'll be honest, I was just looking to have some fun. I don't necessarily recommend it. However, it is so much fun. It hits so hard. It's just a nuke monster. If you're looking to get through battles super quick, when you've got such a bulky league on, this team could be one you could try out yourself. So enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your battles featured on my channel, a link to my battle submission form is down below. Finally, we're going to have some days off tomorrow. I've got 3 very fun battle submissions we're going to get through, so you can look forward to them, and I'm going to see you all in the next one.